Hey, what's up, everyone on YouTube and Twitter? So, about 2 hours ago, we received the news from David Sachs that Donald Trump had signed an executive order to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve using the assets already owned by the federal government. He also said that the Secretaries of Treasury and Commerce are also authorized to develop budget neutral strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin, provided that those strategies have no incremental cost on American taxpayers. Separately, a digital asset stockpile will be created that includes other cryptocurrencies aside from Bitcoin using seized assets already owned by the government. So essentially, they are going to continue to hold the Bitcoin that they currently have. They are also going to continue to hold the crypto that they currently have, and they're going to look for ways to buy more Bitcoin without having it come down to the cost of the American taxpayers. So if we look at the Bitcoin chart, the news came around this candle. This is on the hourly time frame right here. Bitcoin sold off from approximately $91,000 all the way down to approximately $84,000. If you look at this chart, there was a head and shoulders pattern here. We treat this as the left shoulder. This is the head. This was the right shoulder. And the approximate target was below where it went down to. So it actually did not reach this target. So this is something that we have to watch for in the shorter time frame. But this last hourly candle did close back above this neckline. So it could have invalidated this here. The breakdown target would have been approximately 83,000. We got down to approximately 84.7K. So right now there's a lot of volatility, a lot of noise, a lot of different thoughts, right? A lot of different emotions. Some people are very much disappointed because they want to see the US government go out and just buy a lot of Bitcoin. But there's also a lot of people who have been in this space for a very long time who are happy because this is something that 5-10 years ago, no one could have actually envisioned. And now it's happening that the Bitcoin that is held by the US government is going to be put into a stockpile for the longer term. That's something when I got into crypto a very long time ago, I never thought would, happen by now. And it's now happening. So there's two ways to look at this. But we'll continue to watch Bitcoin's chart. If we look at this on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin has done a lot of price action below this support over the past 2 weeks. And of course, last week, right, we went below this support, ended up closing well above it. This is around approximately 89.6K. We're currently below it once again. So going into the weekly close, we need to watch this, right? If we close below this, then it very much opens up prices lower, right? We probably would actually see a retest of this low at some point, and maybe some sort of test of this range down here. This is around 75K approximately. But if Bitcoin can hold this area as support, then it does actually have a real chance to push to these all-time highs again up here around $110,000. So the weekly close going into this week will once again be huge. I'm sure after last week, most people probably thought that this week would be a little less crazy. It has been, but it's been pretty crazy, right? We had this huge dip initially, then we had the huge pushback up, and now we're back below the support. So this week, just like last week, has been kind of crazy. And across the market, especially if you look at the altcoins, everything is still holding its lows despite the stock market breaking down. If we take a look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is broken lower, is making lower lows, while Bitcoin and all the crypto coins in general are holding up. So the stock market is breaking lower, but it's not pulling Bitcoin and everything else down with it. It is kind of keeping them grounded. But in the past, Bitcoin has found its bottom before the stock market. If you go back here, this was a 2020 crash. Bitcoin bottomed first and started to resume back upward while the stock market made its low about a week or so after. And then we look at total two, which is all the crypto excluding Bitcoin. If you go back to the 2022 bear market, it bottomed back here in June of 2022, while the stock market did not find its bottom until October of 2022. So it was many, many months after the stock market found its bottom. And crypto usually just finds its bottom faster because it's more volatile. It trades 24/7. People are faster to give up in crypto. So crypto has a history of just finding its bottom first. So even if the stock market does continue to break lower here, crypto might not get as damaged as most people would expect just because it does have a history of selling off faster. And we've seen that over the past few months with all the selling that has been taking place with crypto and Bitcoin and everything else, basically since December. If we take a look at the NASDAQ on the weekly time frame, its weekly RSI is actually back to where it was in October of 2023. So it's almost fully reset the past year and a half here. So this might be close to finding a bottom for the NASDAQ. But if you look at the S&P 500, this is well above. So there is a lot more room the S&P 500 could potentially go if it wants to come back down here, reset this RSI, and then maybe make some sort of bullish divergence. So if you enjoy my content and would like to support my channel, I do have some referral links down here. I have Coinbase, I have Gemini. If you spend $100, you will get $75 in the crypto of your choice. I also have a Patreon where I post videos multiple times a week, as well as the Patreon chat where you guys can ask me anything and I get back pretty fast. So if you're interested in that, all the referral links and the Patreon are in the description below. And now we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is in a huge uptrend over the past few years. It currently has a green weekly candle. It's currently sitting and bouncing off of this support area. So this favors a continuation for Bitcoin dominance. However, the bears for Bitcoin dominance probably had their best shot to bring this down for the first time in many, many years. It does have this first bearish divergence confirmed on the weekly time frame for the first time in a very long time. It also had its largest weekly wick since the last 2020 top back here. You look at this wick, this was about a month ago. This was the largest wick since. So there are some signs, but you have to still respect the trend, right? The trend is your friend until the end. And until Bitcoin dominance makes an actual lower low, which would be below this 54.5% level, approximately down here, it is still in an uptrend. It needs to make a lower low to change the trend direction. Then it will have an established downtrend. Once when it starts making lower highs and lower lows, that is a downtrend. But currently it is clearly in an uptrend right now. And a lot of this is attributed to Ethereum. Ethereum is the heaviest weighted coin in Bitcoin dominance that affects the Bitcoin dominance price. And Ethereum is basically sitting on this support at this point. This is around $2,100. If Ethereum were to lose this on the weekly time frame, it would open up much lower prices such as $1,500. So going into the weekly, not only just for Bitcoin, but also for Ethereum, we have to watch this. Ethereum is sitting on major support. It has been in this year-long downtrend for the past year, this year-long bear market. It is interesting. Ethereum started its actual uptrend back here in June of 2022, while Bitcoin didn't find its bottom until November of 2022. So Ethereum started its uptrend or its bull market months before Bitcoin, while Bitcoin was in a bear market. And now we're seeing the reverse, where Bitcoin's in a bull market and Ethereum has been in a bear market for the past year. So things are definitely changing in crypto. It's just not the same as prior cycles where everything was in a bull market together and then everything went to a bear market together. We're seeing some things in bull markets, some things in bear markets, and everything has different structure essentially. So crypto is definitely changing. It's not the same as how it used to be. Things are definitely different. So if you enjoyed this content, make sure to follow me on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure to follow me on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate all the support. And I will see you guys in the next video.